Two elite flyweight strikers heading into war in Cape Town. Dakota "Dangerous" Ditcheva, a rising PFL world champion with a stunning 14-0 record and over 85% finishes, is set to collide with Sumiko Inaba, known as the Lady Samurai, uncompromising and relentless. On July 19th, they're co-main eventing PFL Africa's debut in South Africa. Which striking phenom truly reigns supreme? The brutal body-punching power of Dakota or the chaos and pace of Inaba? By the end, viewers will know and feel the tension of what's about to unfold. Dakota Ditcheva's rise through the ranks of women's MMA has been nothing short of explosive, a journey defined by raw talent, elite training, and an unstoppable hunger to dominate. Born in Manchester, England, into a household shaped by combat sports, Dakota grew up under the watchful eye of her mother, Lisa Howarth, a former world kickboxing champion. From the beginning, fighting was in her blood, and she wasted no time proving she belonged. She started in Muay Thai and quickly made waves internationally. After establishing herself as one of Europe's most feared strikers on the regional scene, Dakota signed with the Professional Fighters League, PFL, a platform that would provide her with global exposure and a shot at seven-figure success. Her impact was immediate. Within her first PFL season, she was already annihilating opponents with surgical precision. By the end of 2024, she had compiled a perfect 13-0 record with a staggering 11 knockouts and 1 submission. Her reputation wasn't just about winning, she was finishing fights in style, becoming a fan favorite and a media darling overnight. But it was the PFL Europe tournament in 2023 that launched her into international stardom. Fighting in the semifinals in Paris against the gritty Cornelia Holm, Dakota delivered one of the most savage performances of her career. Holm, a skilled grappler, attempted to test Dakota on the ground early, but Dakota's improved wrestling defense and vicious bodywork neutralized her completely. After surviving round 1, Holm was visibly breaking down, and in round 2, Dakota unleashed a straight right hand that made Holm stagger like a drunk. By round 3, she connected with a crushing kick that folded Holm like a deck chair. It was not just a win, it was a warning. In November 2024, the undefeated British-Bulgarian phenom reached her peak when she dismantled former UFC title challenger Taila Santos in Riyadh to win the PFL World Championship. Many doubted if Dakota could handle an experienced, physically strong UFC-level veteran, but in front of millions, she proved she wasn't just hype. With brutal body shots and perfectly timed counters, she overwhelmed Santos before finishing her in round 2. Her victory made her Britain's first-ever female MMA world champion, and she took home a $1 million prize, solidifying her place as a dominant force in women's MMA and raising questions about whether she might even rival UFC champion. On the other side of this coming storm stands Sumiko Inaba, known to fans and foes alike as the Lady Samurai. Hailing from Hawaii, Inaba brings with her a completely different style of destruction, less methodical than Dakota, less polished, but no less deadly. Sumiko fights like a chaotic force of nature, always coming forward, always in your face, and always ready to eat punches if it means landing her own. Her brand of fighting is not built on elegance or precision, it's built on sheer chaos, grit, and unbreakable willpower. After building her resume in Bellator, where she went 5-1 and captured fan attention with her high-paced wars, Sumiko crossed over to PFL with a singular focus: take down Dakota Ditcheva. In her PFL debut, she faced a dangerous striker in Soraya Roscoe. From the first bell, it was clear that Inaba had no plans to play it safe. Twitchy movement, unpredictable timing, and relentless pressure made it hard for Roscoe to settle. Every time Roscoe landed a clean shot, Sumiko answered with 2 more. Every time she got clipped, she smirked and moved forward. Her volume was suffocating. The split decision win may not have come with a finish, but it made one thing clear: Sumiko isn't here to impress judges. She's here to break wills. What separates Inaba from most contenders isn't just her cardio or her durability. It's her refusal to give up space. In her fight against undefeated Mackenzie Stiller in September 2024, she once again showed that her style is like a swarm of bees. Constant movement, endless hooks, elbows from the clinch, short knees to the gut. Stiller never had a chance to breathe. Even after being taken down, Sumiko kept attacking. Even when she was bleeding, she kept moving forward. In round 2, she blasted Stiller with elbows and punches that turned her face into a canvas of destruction. The referee had to step in, not just to end the fight, but to stop what looked like long-term damage from setting in. Sumiko has never cared about looking clean. Her victories come from grit, heart, and violence. She'll take a punch to give 3. She'll get taken down just to land a reverse elbow on the way up. And now she's got her eyes locked on Dakota Ditcheva, the polished champion. To Sumiko, Dakota represents everything she's not. Media-trained, highly produced, corporate-backed, and that's what makes her dangerous. She's not chasing belts, she's chasing war. And on July 19th in Cape Town, she plans to drag Dakota into her kind of fight. The anticipation for this July 19th showdown is unlike anything PFL's women's division has ever seen. This isn't just a matchup between two rising stars, it's a cultural clash. One side is a product of discipline and polish, the other born from chaos and hunger, and both are on a collision course with history. Dakota Ditcheva walks into Cape Town with everything to lose: her undefeated record, her PFL title holder reputation, and the million-dollar momentum she built. She hasn't fought since her 2024 championship victory, and fans have been calling her out for the delay. Accusations about avoiding tough fights, ducking contenders, and even using PEDs have crept into online forums. While no proof has surfaced, the whispers remain, and that drama gives this fight an extra layer of heat. Sumiko Inaba, meanwhile, has everything to gain. She's not just fighting for a shot at stardom, she's fighting to shake up the hierarchy of women's MMA. A win over Dakota would be her rocket ship to global recognition. But can she pull it off? Statistically, Dakota has the edge. She's taller, longer, younger, and has far fewer miles on her body. Her accuracy is among the best in her division, and her striking defense has held up even against UFC-caliber opponents. But none of that matters if Sumiko can drag her into deep water. Dakota has never been taken past the 3rd round. She's never bled. She's never had to survive a dogfight. And that's where this bout becomes fascinating. What if Sumiko lands early? What if she cracks Dakota's body with one of those mean liver hooks? What if Dakota panics under pressure against the fence, with Sumiko swarming her with elbows? The fight may not go to the scorecards. In fact, it's unlikely to last that long. The intensity both fighters bring almost guarantees a finish. Whether it's a brutal knockout by Dakota or a comeback war by Sumiko, fans are expecting fireworks. This isn't just another PFL main event. It's a defining moment, one that could catapult the winner into global superstardom and leave the loser questioning everything. And that's what makes it must-watch television. One of the most intriguing dynamics heading into this bout isn't just the clash of fighting styles, it's the tension outside the cage. After Dakota Ditcheva's meteoric rise in 2024, many expected her to become the new face of women's MMA, perhaps even rivaling Amanda Nunes or Valentina Shevchenko in star power. But something unexpected happened. Instead of a wave of adoration, she began facing backlash from fans and even other fighters. Online forums and social media threads began to fill with allegations that Dakota might not be natural, that her frame was too powerful, too muscular, too sudden in its transformation from Muay Thai technician to knockout artist. Rumors of PED usage swirled, not backed by evidence, but fueled by envy and suspicion. While no failed drug tests have ever been reported, the whispers were loud enough to cause Dakota to clap back on Instagram, sarcastically writing, "Apparently, hard work and being raised by a kickboxing champion mum is now called cheating." But the internet doesn't forget. A clip surfaced shortly after, showing her landing brutal body kicks during a training session, one of which left her sparring partner unable to breathe. The clip was meant to impress, but instead, it fanned the flames. People began questioning if she was going too hard in training, if she was bullying lower-ranked fighters in the gym. Even her brief call-outs of UFC fighters were viewed with skepticism, with some fans accusing her of chasing clout, while avoiding top talent outside of carefully picked matchups. Then came the radio silence. After winning the PFL World Championship in November 2024, Dakota didn't fight for nearly 8 months. Rumors swirled. Was she injured? Negotiating with UFC? Avoiding tough matchups? Was the PFL protecting their golden goose? Her absence opened the door for critics like Sumiko Inaba to speak up. In multiple interviews, Inaba subtly shaded Dakota, saying, "Some people like to train for the cameras. I train to fight. You can't build a legacy avoiding the fire." It wasn't direct, but everyone knew who she meant. Dakota responded in kind, retweeting a video of Inaba getting dropped in Bellator and writing, "Legacy starts with a chin." What was once a respectful rivalry turned personal. The drama hit a boiling point when PFL announced their first-ever fight night in Africa, set for July 26th in Cape Town, South Africa. The co-main event, Dakota Ditcheva versus Sumiko Inaba. A non-title fight, yes, but one soaked in bad blood, online beef, and more than a hint of real-life animosity. Behind the drama and online battles lies a deeper, more psychological war. This is not just a fight about technique or cardio. It's a battle for dominance between two women who represent two very different philosophies of combat. Dakota Ditcheva embodies the new wave of MMA, fighters groomed from childhood, raised on structured martial arts systems, who treat the game like a science. Her life is fight camps, recovery, clean eating, and sports psychology. Every kick she throws has purpose, every jab a plan behind it. She's the blueprint of what modern MMA is becoming. Sumiko Inaba, however, is from the old school. A former police officer, she didn't enter the sport with a silver spoon or a championship pedigree. She clawed her way through local circuits in Hawaii and fought her way into Bellator with pure aggression and refusal to quit. She doesn't overthink her movement or speak like a media professional. Her press conferences are blunt, her interviews short, and her fists do most of the talking. To her, Dakota represents a system that values Instagram followers and highlight reels over heart. This is what makes their matchup such a compelling psychological war. Dakota will look to stay at range, use her long kicks, and exploit Sumiko's sometimes wild forward pressure. She'll rely on angles, traps, and calculated counters. But what happens when those calculations go out the window? What happens if Inaba crashes into her space and turns the fight into a dogfight? There's a moment in every elite fighter's career where strategy breaks down and instinct takes over. And it's unclear if Dakota has truly been there yet. Has she ever had to bite down and survive? Has she ever been in danger long enough to prove what she's made of? Meanwhile, Sumiko knows exactly what she's walking into. She's studied Dakota. She's seen the kicks, counters, the fame. She's not impressed. In her words, everyone's got a plan until they're hit, and I don't stop hitting. She believes that Dakota's calm exterior will crumble under pressure, that behind the lights and polish is a fighter who's never truly suffered, and Inaba plans to make her suffer. That's where this fight takes on an edge of cruelty. Neither woman wants to win a decision. They want to break each other's aura. Dakota wants to prove she's untouchable. Sumiko wants to prove Dakota is just another overhyped prospect with a padded record, and in the middle of that cage, only one of them will walk out with their myth intact. Training camps leading into this fight have added another layer to the rivalry, and fans are now poring over every detail for clues. Dakota Ditcheva has reportedly been training in isolation with a specialized team that includes elite kickboxers and grapplers from Bulgaria and the UK. Her team has limited media appearances and insisted on closed sessions. According to her coach, this isn't a show, this is war. There's even talk that Dakota has been sparring exclusively with male fighters who outweigh her by at least 20 pounds. Her camp believes that Inaba's pace and forward pressure need to be simulated by bigger, stronger athletes who can replicate that chaos. Meanwhile, Sumiko Inaba's training has taken place in Hawaii, where she's returned to her roots. Her Instagram shows intense beachside workouts, footage of her dragging tires, flipping logs, and sprinting up volcano trails. Her camp is all about mental warfare and pressure conditioning. Her striking coach, a former brawler himself, said, "We don't care about points. We We care about damage. We're going to break Dakota mentally. They've been studying how Dakota reacts when she gets clipped, how she circles out, when she panics, what her habits are when under siege. A major wrinkle in the matchup? The fight is set for 5 rounds, not 3. That means cardio will be a factor. And while Dakota has never gone the full 5, Inaba has pushed into deep waters before. PFL has never featured a women's main event like this outside of their championship bouts, but the buildup was too strong, the rivalry too hot to ignore. Promotional materials have leaned into the feud. Posters show the two women nose to nose. Taglines like "One must fall" and "Queen of Carnage" are plastered everywhere. At the press conference, Sumiko walked onto the stage wearing a samurai headband, while Dakota showed up in heels and sunglasses. When they faced off, neither woman blinked. When asked about predictions, Dakota said coldly, "I end her inside 3. Inaba smirked and replied, "I'll leave her begging for air." The fans are split. Some say Dakota is the future of MMA. Others say she's never been tested. Some believe Inaba is a throwback warrior who's too raw for Dakota's polish. Others say Sumiko's reckless style will get her knocked out, but everyone agrees something big is coming. And as fight night draws near, the air around Cape Town grows electric. This won't just be a fight, it's going to be a reckoning. As this fight draws near, all eyes will be on a few key moments that could shift the momentum instantly. The first is the opening round. Sumiko Inaba tends to start fast, looking to impose her tempo and establish rhythm with her combinations and movement. If she's able to get inside early and smother Dakota's space, the fight might take on a pace that favors her unpredictability and chaotic energy. However, Dakota Ditcheva is laser sharp from the opening bell. She often finds her timing quickly and has the accuracy to punish opponents who come in too hot. A well-placed knee or sharp right hand in the first minute could stop Inaba's momentum before it starts. It's not just a matter of who throws first, it's who controls the early energy in the room. From there, it becomes about where the battle takes place. Dakota loves to attack the body and legs, breaking down her opponents over time. Her front kicks, liver shots, and tight inside leg kicks are surgical. And if Inaba allows her to settle into that rhythm, her mobility will quickly deteriorate. Inaba has to either return fire with volume or force Dakota into close-range firefights. The clinch game is where things get very interesting. Inaba's elbows and knees can be deadly in tight quarters. If she gets Dakota against the cage, her Muay Thai experience will shine. However, Dakota is no stranger to dirty boxing exchanges and has shown the ability to reverse position, land sharp shots in the clinch, and disengage at will. The question becomes, can Inaba keep her there long enough to do real damage? Late in the fight, durability and fight IQ will matter most. Dakota has rarely been tested deep. She hasn't absorbed much damage in her fights, and we've never truly seen her exhausted or pushed into a place where she has to fight fatigue. Inaba might be the one to take her there. If Inaba can make Dakota work through grappling, movement, and consistent pressure, we'll find out what Dakota's tank really looks like in the 3rd round. At the same time, Dakota is very intelligent with her pacing. She uses space well, adjusts mid-fight, and sets traps. If Inaba gets reckless, Dakota could time her with a perfectly placed shot that ends the night. This matchup isn't just about who's more skilled, it's about who can adapt under pressure, who makes the better reads in chaos, and who responds better when things don't go according to plan. Outside the cage, the conversation is already heating up about what happens next for Dakota Ditcheva. Many fans are beginning to wonder whether she's outgrowing the PFL. With a perfect record, dominant wins, and rising stardom, the UFC door is beginning to open in whispers. Some believe she's already UFC caliber and would be competitive against top fighters like Valentina Shevchenko or Jessica Andrade. Others argue it's too soon. Dakota herself addressed the hype in a recent interview, saying, "I'm not quite there yet. I'll always give her respect. I'm still 26." It was a humble answer, but one that also hinted she knows exactly where she's going. She's not dismissing the dream, just pacing it out. What's more, there are rumors swirling that Dakota is set to headline a PFL UK event in 2025 alongside Brendan Loughnane. If that materializes, it could cement her as a true true domestic star, not just a top fighter, but a symbol of UK MMA's new era. The home crowd would be electric, and the exposure could elevate her beyond just MMA circles. There's even some discussion about a possible crossover boxing event in her future, the kind that brings celebrity buzz and cross-sport interest. With figures like Francis Ngannou having paved the way, Ditcheva might be next in line to ride that wave. All this depends on one thing: getting past Sumiko Inaba. A dominant win keeps her star power on the rise. A loss? That slows everything down. That's why this fight carries stakes that go far beyond the final bell. Now let's talk about how this fight might actually end. There are three likely scenarios that we can realistically expect. First, Dakota could score a clean knockout. She has the timing, precision, and power to land something flush, whether it's a counter hook, a step-in elbow, or a liver kick that shuts Inaba down. If that happens, we'll be having very different conversations post-fight. The second option is a back-and-forth war that goes to the judges. Inaba has the grit and pace to force scrappy exchanges, and if she keeps Dakota backing up, she might steal rounds on activity. If she can get a knockdown or dominant third round, a split decision in her favor isn't out of the question. Finally, there's the most surprising outcome: a stoppage win for Inaba. It's unlikely, but not impossible. If she lands something big in the clinch, say an elbow that cuts or drops Dakota, and follows up with a flurry, the ref might be forced to step in. That would send shockwaves through the division. For now, the smart pick is Dakota by decision or late TKO. She has more tools, better composure, and a cleaner striking game. But don't sleep on Sumiko Inaba. She's explosive, unpredictable, and exactly the kind of fighter who turns a clean highlight reel into a bloody war. If Dakota isn't fully switched on, this could become a dogfight fast. What do you think? Who wins this one, and how? Leave your predictions in the comments, and stick around. After the fight, we'll be breaking down every key moment, plus what's next for both of these women as the flyweight picture gets even more interesting.